All right, we've got a big matchup this week. Houston, West Virginia, down in Houston, Thursday night matchup, national television. Should be a good one. We're bringing to you our keys to the game, weekly keys to the game. I'll kick it off with that, Jarrett, and I think the natural one that came to my mind is how does West Virginia play off of a bye week? They've had their first bye week of the season. It's not a true bye week because they have the Thursday game and they don't have until Saturday. But to my mind, it could not have come at a better time. West Virginia plays a really physical and grueling style, as we all know, and they were getting beat up. They had a number of injuries, setting aside those who got hurt in the TCU game, like Aubrey Burks and Lathan, who's out permanently. Burks may end up being back, but you had people
emotional injuries too.
Totally.
Very highly emotional injuries.
The team plays so hard, and then you see a couple of your teammates get carted off the field, and you have to wonder, what the emotional state of the team is. And then on top of that, as you know, because we were talking live during the game, I thought CJ Donaldson played a terrible game. I know he scored a touchdown, but he did not look anything like himself. And what came out after that game is Neil Brown basically said the same thing. I don't know what's going on. And that was 2 weeks running. Donaldson didn't even look excited after he scored touchdowns. So who knows what's going on in the young man's life. But Chad Scott said today in his interview that the bye week couldn't have been better for him. He's like a new man. So I fully expect him to come out and play well, as well as the rest of the team after having some time off.
Yeah. It's going to be important to see how we rebound with some of these major injuries. As you mentioned, Aubrey Burks, and then to lose a linebacker. I mean, that's a critical position for us going into the season. So that's a good one. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit, and I'm really excited about this matchup. So Beanie Bishop against the former West Virginia Mountaineer receiver, Sam Brown, who was highly recruited from the South. The Mountaineers were really excited to get him, and he just never really developed. He had
offered by Georgia and Florida right on the eve of signing day.
Big offers. Yeah. We kind of like held on to him late in the game here. So, and then you end up losing him through the transfer portal. So Sam Brown, he averages 103 yards receiving per game, almost 7 catches a game, which leads the Big 12 conference. Beanie Bishop, on the flip side, is 7th in picks. He's 1st in passes defended in the entire conference, and he's 20th in tackles for a cornerback. So these two are going to go at it all night.
Agree.
On the flip side, it could be Malachi Ruffin at times, but I think you're primarily going to see Beanie Bishop and Sam Brown matched up together, which just makes sense.
And Jared, with Beanie, could Beanie have been a better pickup in the transfer portal? I mean, he was good at Minnesota, but he wasn't like a all Big Ten level player, but he is playing at an all conference level right now. And I don't know if it's maturity and growth and the type of defense that we're running, but he has been unbelievable. Looks like a legit corner out there.
Yeah. Yep. He's a stud for the Mountaineers, one that we typically don't come across in the transfer portal.
Yep.
So John, give me key 3.
Yeah, so my other one that is related to coming off the bye week is just how do you handle success? And the bye week kind of mixes in there a little bit. But West Virginia is in a place where the team probably thought they were going to be. Some fans probably thought they were too, but a lot of the media certainly did not, and a lot of the national pundits certainly did not. West Virginia, as a reminder, was picked 14th out of the 14-team Big 12 this year. And so the question is, how does West Virginia handle now that they've had a taste of success? They're 2-0 in the league. There are only 2 teams in the entire league that are undefeated, Oklahoma and West Virginia. How does West Virginia handle that now that they've had some people pumping them up a little bit? I think, given the way they play, the way Neil's talking to the team, they're going to be fine with it, and their heads aren't going to get big. It's not like they've been blowing people out or totally outperforming people. They've won in really gritty ways, and I fully expect that to continue. But every time you win, things get a little bit more. The next game becomes that much more important, and the team's going to have to make sure that they stay on a level even keel and keep going.
You're right. We've not seen that with the Mountaineers in recent history to get off to a hot start with such a difficult schedule that we've seen in past seasons. So then I'm going to flip it back to the line play. I talked about this against TCU, and I really felt like it was one of the keys that ended up being one of the primary keys for the West Virginia the defense. And I'm going to look at Houston on their defensive line as well as the West Virginia defensive line. So 13 sacks given up by Houston. It's toward the bottom of the conference. And the Mountaineers are toward the top and sacking the quarterback as a defense. So I like that matchup. I think it's going to be exciting to watch a few of the different areas that we've touched on. I love the one, how do the Mountaineers handle success? I think that one is such a key component that we've not seen in recent history. So I couldn't be more excited. We play on FS1, 7 o'clock on a Thursday. So a little bit different timing for us this week.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to watch. And the excitement is building.
Harkens back to the old Big East days. Some weeknight football, and it should be a good one.